Hey, good afternoon, traders. This is Trader Tim from eminimind.com doing a Monday market analysis video. Kicking off this week with a big rally. Who'd have thought that the talk of trade would lead traders to push the market higher? But the news is neither here nor there. What we want to talk about today is how we're in this state of a broken market trend in a number of different ways. So this downtrend line that I have here in blue that we broke to the upside, we then came down, bounced briefly, and now we're on the underside of it. So now we'll be coming back to that downtrend line, but I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this drawing because we were not able to hold on top of it. We have broken down below the 61.8 on Friday of this long that had held back here at the end of February. So I'll get rid of that drawing. We had a very large triangle that began to resolve itself to the upside. That's where you can see this downtrend line came from. And then we have now moved below to the underside. We can draw up a retracement short from the most recent high to lows, and that's at a 26.96. We'll just call it a 2700, big round number. That's where we would likely head this week, to the 2700. We have a little gap at 2712.50s that will need to be filled. But we have a situation where we broke the previous swing high, this relationship, and then we've put in a lower low, breaking this swing low at the same time. So we went from a triangle consolidating over here, and now all of a sudden we're going into a widening scenario over here. So a very, um, kind of a chaotic market. Some of these days, the breakdown of the market profile is quite messy. But today, being able to not just break above Friday's high, but close above it, that's a pretty good sign that at least that there's bulls participating. It's okay if the bears take control for a little while, and it's okay if the bulls take control for a little while. But when you get in situations where there's no one interested in buying, that's when the market can really get swung in one direction. And it's still possible that we'll come down here and take out the swing low and put in another big hammer candle like this. But in the meantime, I would expect this continued volatility, not so much in the sense that the VIX is very high, but just that there's a lot of things being thrown at us from the economic, I guess the more so the news realm. Tomorrow we have the consumer sentiment, Wednesday GDP, Thursday jobless claims, also pending home sales on Wednesday. Um, and consumer sentiment on Thursday, consumer confidence on Tuesday. So lots of good indicators coming out this week, economic reports that can be indicators, and we can take a look and see if some of those trends are starting to shift or if they're staying the course. And if we do stay the course, then I would definitely be looking for this move up to 2700, and maybe if we can come all the way up to 2800, then we can take out this swing high once again. But in the meantime, if we go to a 30-minute chart, we can see trending throughout the day last week, more to the downside, but Even so, on these up moves, there's enough of a bounce that we're able to, pick off a trade here and there and get into some of these shorts and hang on for a good portion of the move. So things are all right in the day trading sense, even if the larger daily chart is a little bit chaotic. Let's take a look at a weekly chart, kind of ignoring this candle here because we haven't not closed that one, but we can see, this just a sort of a big triangle up at highs. The uptrend still, for the most part, intact, and then you know maybe we do something like this and work our way back up to that 2800 that I was talking about, and eventually uh, make a weekly triangle that gives us a breakout. So some bigger, longer term fundamental things going on that's more of what's adding to the uncertainty and the volatility. There's been a lot of good day trading opportunities, and we'll continue to trade them as they come. If we look at so we're just looking at the ES. Here's the S&P. We can see how close we are to this swing low. If we look at the Dow, even closer to the swing low, and then the Nasdaq looking stronger. So the Dow is the weakest, then the S&P, and then the Nasdaq being the strongest, and then the Russell. I guess you could say, the Russell didn't break out to a new high, but it also hasn't come down quite as low. So all four top line indices are sort of acting much different than each other. They're not very correlated um, as they typically are. So, that's also weighing on the short-term momentum is not really lasting very long. We get these little thrusts up and then a pullback and another thrust up and then a bigger thrust down. And a big part of that is, because we have a lot of lack of um, congruent movement between the different indices. So it'll be interesting to see what comes about with the economic reports that are coming out this week. But I expect it to be another good trading week. Again, we're not really taking a ton of trades. I'm not taking a ton of trades throughout the week. But if you're selective and patient, you can pick off a few good ones and make it a good week. So if you want to tune in to the live trading room, you can do that tomorrow morning. And the link for that is over at eminimind.com/VIP. Thanks everyone, and we will talk to you in the morning.